Hey guys, Ron Cecil here, men's life coach and co-host of the podcast Cutting for Sign. You can see my cute little dog back there. I wanted to jump on here and talk about a question we get pretty frequently is some version of, I'm on a personal development journey and what do I do about my spouse? And there's a lot of layers to that question, right? Is how do I get my partner to change? My partner wants to change. Where do they start? I see a lot of things in my partner's life that I know need to change. How can I encourage them without forcing them? I know that there's all kinds of variations to that question. There's a couple of things that I think are really important to keep in mind when you are on a personal development journey, whether you are getting sober or you are engaged with a coach or working with a therapist or a group program or whatever it might be. There's one thing I want you to really remember, first of all, and that is work your program and make sure that you are working it for you and you alone. If you start to notice something within you that wants to feel like by you changing, that's going to change someone else, and that's setting yourself up for disaster. You're setting yourself up for disappointment, and you're setting your partner up for some kind of weird manipulation, and it's unhealthy for both of you. I get why you would want to do that. I think that's totally natural and normal to feel that way because it feels good to change, right? We, at some point in our life, go, I want to change, and I put the work and effort into it, and then things begin to happen. And of course, we want our partners to experience that as well. One of the things that my personality does, and I see this frequently with people who are experiencing healing and change in their life, is they want to share what they're experiencing. That's totally normal too, especially if it's new or novel, or maybe something they've never experienced before. Then that tendency to get excited about it, I get why you would feel that way. I have felt that way in the past for sure. But the fact is, it's not true. What works for you may not work for someone else. So remember, this is about you and your journey. And the best thing that you could possibly do for you and your relationship is to focus on your wholeness. Just start there. Focus on your wholeness. Do it well. Do it thorough. Love yourself like crazy. And as you're doing it, if you start to get judgy about your partner's experience and maybe their lack of enthusiasm on their journey or their lack of knowledge of where to start, because that's something they may not have, the same knowledge and information that you've been taking in. Be aware that you don't judge them for that, and be aware of any projections that you might have of your own problems in your life, in their life. So be mindful of that as you are on your journey. Now, let's say you have an opportunity to have a conversation with them about what they are experiencing as you are going through your life. Some things that you can do are ask questions. Start there, ask questions, and help them to get clear, and maybe help you to get clear on what they are thinking about what they want in their life. Do they want to go on a personal development journey too? Do they want to let go of some resentment in their life? Do they want to stop some habits that they've been experiencing their whole adult life? What might it be? Have an easy conversation around it, because it needs to come from within them and not from you wanting them to change, right? They have to want to change. And when they are clear on what they want to change about themselves, ask them how they might plan on going about that. What are their resources? What do they have access to? Brainstorm with them on what opportunities are there for them to experience this, and get creative. If you are a number of months or years ahead of them, you have some resources, and you might be able to offer some referrals or references to groups you've been a part of or people that you may know, maybe know somebody. But be gentle in that process. If you start to feel yourself moving into a know-it-all mentality or any kind of superiority, be really aware of how that is going to read to your partner. Because if it comes across as egotistical or if it comes across as manipulative, your person's going to run from this experience. So be mindful of that as you're going forward. And once you get clear on what they want, and once you start to understand the different things that they might be able to have access to and try and work on, whether that's a 12-step program or them getting a coach or working with a therapist or working in a group setting or whatever it might be, encouraging. See where they are in this process. A lot of people are really afraid of joining those things. And I've been there myself. I remember almost 9 years ago when I first went to a 12-step program, I was terrified of going. And it took a huge amount of effort, mental, spiritual, physical effort to go to those meetings. And I'm so glad I did. So as they're going, and I remember this on my end, when I was going, my wife was super encouraging to me, telling me all the time how proud she was. She still tells me how proud she is of me, that experience. Now, I don't do that because I'm not in this because I'm proud. I'm doing it for her applause or her praise, not at all. I'm doing it for me, but it's great to hear her encouragement. And I say the same thing to her as well. The other thing I want you to be encouraging about is whatever it lights them up in their life, right? They need their own journey of well-being. And if that is some kind of hobby or traveling alone or hanging out with their friends or whatever it might be encouraging for that too. Help them find the resources to do that. Help them find the time, especially to do that. I think that's the one thing as an adult we need the most is time to focus on the things that light us up. Use your own resources and power, your time and energy in particular, to help them find that time. So those are the places I would say to really focus on your partner, helping your partner understand that it's okay for them to want to change. It's okay for them to have their own resources of time, money, and energy to change. Sometimes lots of us feel guilty for using time, money, or resources to pursue the things that we know would bring us closer to the kind of person we want to be, and understand what barrier your partner is really facing. Maybe it's they don't feel good enough to change. Maybe they don't feel valuable enough. Just notice what that might be and help encourage them through that. It's not up to you again. The best thing you could possibly do is work your own path, your own side of the street. So I'd say that's really it. Focus on yourself and be very encouraging, and make sure you are being aware of any part of you that is wanting to manipulate or change anybody. And that's basically it. So thanks, guys. Talk to you next time.